Welcome back to #Africa. Now, the death penalty in Equatorial Guinea may soon be a thing of the past. The country's president will present a bill in parliament to have the capital punishment scrapped. Equatorial Guinea is one of the only few countries in Africa where the death penalty is still legal. ENCA's Odirile Ramafsi filed this report.
President Obiang Nguema's proposal isn't influenced by years of advocacy from human rights groups, but by pressure from the community of Portuguese language countries. In South Africa, where the death penalty was abolished in 1997, some remain convinced it will curb crime, while others disagree.
Because batho ga fela ba re bolaya tseneng o ya drunk on 2 days wa khutla nna cousin aka o shwele wena o mmolaile o ile go drunk on 2 days ba re ka di docket ba ha khutla death penalty.
I think it might work here to reduce the crime, because in other countries like America they do have, and apparently the crime rate is lower compared to South Africa.
Very much against what I feel, but looking at the crisis we are facing, in 2 to 5 years' time we'll be the capital of the world when it comes to murder. So we need something very drastic.
Amnesty International denies the death penalty is a deterrent.
Our research and other research that's been done has shown that it actually doesn't, in the long term, result in a decline in crime.
The organization has welcomed the move by President Nguema, says it is a sign of progress on the African continent.
This is really, really positive, a positive step for us, and we hope that it also inspires other countries that still have the death penalty to take similar steps. Unfortunately, countries like Botswana and South Sudan still do execute people, and we will continue calling on them to abolish that practice and to respect the right to life.
In 2017, at least 402 people were executed across the world, while at least 717 received the death penalty in 2018, a 75% increase. Egypt, along with Botswana, Somalia, South Sudan and Sudan, are the only African countries with recorded executions in 2018. If Nguema's bill is passed, Equatorial Guinea will join 106 other countries that have abandoned capital punishment. Odirile Ramafsi, Johannesburg.
Now, the families of those who died on board the Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 have gathered at the crash site to mark the end of a mourning period. 157 people died when a Boeing 737 MAX plummeted to the ground following a system failure last month.
For 40 days they've grieved, the relatives of the Ethiopian Airlines crash victims. But now, as per local tradition, the mourning period is over. None of the bodies were recovered to be taken home. So the Orthodox Church ceremony is at the crash site in farmland outside the town of Bishoftu.
This community has suffered as much as we did. They were the first ones who rushed to the scene to save lives, but they couldn't. It was too late when they arrived. Therefore, since this community is even more traumatized than us, we would be very happy if some institution is established here to benefit the community and also serve as a memorial for the victims here.
Faulty sensor data led the computer system to force the plane down, despite the pilot's efforts, according to a preliminary report. The same system implicated in a similar deadly crash in Indonesia in October. Also remembered at the ceremony, the many non-Ethiopians from across the world on board. The mourning period may be over, but the shock and pain isn't. Nor are the questions about why lessons seemingly weren't learnt and if lives were unnecessarily put at risk.
Now let's take a look at some of the stories trending on social media across the continent. Today is World Book Day. Social media users are sharing some of their favorite reads in an aid to promote reading, some calling it a celebration of authors, illustrators, readers and books themselves. Are Meghan Markle and Prince Harry moving to Africa? Well, that's been a shock to most, with some trying to predict where on the continent the royal family will settle. According to The Sun, the couple is in talks to move to Africa, with South Africa and Botswana being the leading contenders. And South African Emmy-nominated actress Thuso Mbedu is making her way to Hollywood for a leading role. Social media was up in excitement after the actress announced she will be playing Cora in the Barry Jenkins Amazon series based on the Colson Whitehead book, The Underground. This making her the first South African actress to lead in an American series. And that was this week's edition of #Africa. Until next time, take care.